Hello everyone, so today we're going to be looking at this post from 5 days ago on Hacker News called LinkedIn is the worst social media I've ever seen. And if we have some time, I thought we could go on LinkedIn lunatics, but I might make it a separate video if people like this. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, we're going to read this, it's quite long, and then we're going to look at some of the comments. I have got LinkedIn by the way, but I've not been on there in like 2 years, and the last time I went on there, I just had like hundreds of messages from recruiters. I've never really liked LinkedIn, to be honest. It's not really my thing. So, let me know if you go on LinkedIn and what the state of LinkedIn is according to you. So, besides being full of AI-generated useless content, the platform is also riddled with dark patterns. Also, I'm pretty sure I saw something this other day, like people creating agents to apply to LinkedIn roles. So it's like AI slop everywhere. So I'm a newcomer. I never used LinkedIn before until I joined 3 months ago. Okay, since then I've been banned twice and shadow banned several times. I want to know what they got banned for. And yeah, it's hard to tell if you're being shadow banned, but whatever. So, point one. Right after I created my account, I got shadow banned. My friends couldn't find me, and my profile wasn't accessible via direct link. This issue wasn't resolved until I contacted support. They confirmed that restriction. Okay, so they did actually confirm it. Fair enough. I shouldn't even have. It is quite weird that this happened by default. So I shouldn't even have to mention this, but as a professional in my field, after that incident, I always ended up on the very last page of search results for keywords related to my field. I don't. Is this too surprising though? I guess you shouldn't be ranking people based on how long they've been there. Feels like a weird reward function. It should be based on, but also like unless there's, I know LinkedIn when I was on there had like these different badges you could do, or like skills quizzes and stuff. I wonder if that goes into the ranking. So if he hasn't done any, if they haven't done any of those, perhaps that's the reason. Uh, but LinkedIn is garbage anyway, so who cares? People without those keywords on their resumes or whose work isn't at all related to the field kept being ranked ahead of me. I can't say I was deliberately pessimized. To be fair though, if this is like an instantaneous thing, this could be to do with like bot accounts and them not wanting to rank bot accounts and them sort of, I can imagine them having a sort of trust function. Like how sure are we as a percentage that this isn't a bot? And over sort of time, this percentage, the confidence that you're a real person increases. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just making that up though, by the way. But it feels like a, I don't know, somewhat good idea, I suppose. Assuming it's not too difficult to implement. Sometime later, I decided to get premium and paid with my own card. Why would you do this? I issued in another country with the same name as my profile and my passport. That's when I received the first restriction. I was locked out of my account and couldn't sign out until I contacted support. They made me take a photo of myself and my passport, and after that they lifted the restrictions. So this person's already been like banned twice for like essentially doing nothing wrong. That is kind of terrible, and it makes you wonder how much customer support they must have at LinkedIn to deal with this sort of stuff. Everything seemed to be going along normally. Yet I remained stuck on the last pages of search, being outranked by completely irrelevant profiles. I feel like if you've got premium, that should instantly rank you as a trustworthy person. Because there's no way that people are making premium accounts with bots, for bots. Everything seemed to be going along. I'm not saying you should get ranked highly by default. Yeah, I remained stuck, although it would be a good incentive for people, I suppose. It makes sense from the company perspective, although I wouldn't like it. Yeah, I remained stuck on the last page of search, being outranked by completely irrelevant profiles until I decided to write a post about my article on Medium. Immediately after publishing the post with a link to Medium, I received a second restriction. This does sound like a fairly awful experience as of right now. I was locked out of my account, couldn't access my messages, interview invitations, and even missed a call because of this. They once again required me to submit a photo of myself along with a copy of my passport. You know, something that's crazy, talking about interview invitations, I don't know if this is still true, but I read somewhere, I think this was a while ago, maybe a couple of years ago or a year ago, that when you're applying to places on LinkedIn, they can see all of the people you're applying to, either companies or recruiters, they can see to all the positions you've applied to. I really don't like that. I don't see why they should have that information. Personally, I don't care about a recruiter having that information, but if I was applying directly to a company I want to work for, and they can see that I've applied to like 15 other jobs, I don't really like that. It might put you in a worse position. Not necessarily, but or they might. Yeah, I don't know. And even missed a call because of this. They once again required me to submit a photo of myself along with a copy of passport. They also eventually restored my account. Took 4 or 5 days. So now my profile is accessible via direct link. Nice. But I've disappeared from search. I wasn't expecting this to be about the actual sign-up process and using LinkedIn. I thought it was going to be about the type of content on LinkedIn. So no one can find me, and hardly anyone visits my page. My post was... Why would they? I mean... My post hidden while support was sorting out my account, and I lost all the potential post views it would have gained because it wasn't featured in the recommendations. All this happened within the first 3 months of using LinkedIn. I've never seen a more appalling social media, one so full of dark patterns and outright abuse towards its users. I'm not too familiar with this dark patterns thing. I thought a dark pattern... let's do dark patterns in software, I don't know, design? I guess it would be. Oh, so design dark patterns. Forced confirm shaming, misdirection, disguised ads. I was gonna say when I heard dark design patterns, I kind of think of trying to cancel premium memberships on Prime, which I think they got sued for, where it's like they try and put as many layers as possible. Friend spam, trick questions. User interface that has been carefully crafted to trick users into doing things. Fair enough. Forcing them through humiliating identity verification processes. I think this person is quite high-strung. But don't get me wrong, it's very frustrating, but I simply just wouldn't do it. I would just be like, no, I don't care that much. I have never violated any of the platform's rules. Yeah, it's still really like disgraceful that they've had this terrible experience, to be honest. Especially with no real reasoning, by the sounds of things. I don't bother people. I don't advertise. My friend account, he's over 5 years old, can do whatever he wants. He uses VPNs, changes his profile locations, switches his VPN location. And yes, I completely forgot to add, when your account gets restricted, it doesn't matter whether you're a premium user or not, the treatment is equally poor and response equally slow. I've never seen a worse social media, and I'll be filled if any worthy competitor LinkedIn has emerged. The problem with competitors, it's about network effect, right? And it's like, there's so many people who try to build social media platforms, but the problem is you're not going to get people. Why would you join a social media platform? You would join it if there's people there. And you're not going to join until there's people there. So everyone is in the same boat where they're not going to join it until there's people there, unless it has some inherent value. By inherent value, I mean value that is unrelated to the network effect. Pardon me. So, LinkedIn, I've not seen it shortened to that before, has to be among the worst social media. The amount of constant self-aggrandizing, aggrandizing, I'm guessing aggrandizing is like saying how great you are, and obviously fabricated stories is insane. Q, that homeless man was my boss memes. That said, it's not completely valueless. I keep it around to see what old co-workers are up to. Honestly, I've been at my current job for like 2 years. I have not even updated my LinkedIn that I'm working here, and I don't care. I'm guessing one or both of these are the only reasons anyone keeps it around. Probably. I was trying to collapse this, but can you do that with this? Cool. I tend to like reading the sort of base comment, like the root comment, and some, replying to that. Sometimes I read some more, but so recently I came to the conclusion that I needed to change jobs, but I held off because I didn't want to deal with psychotic ramblings of LinkedIn posters. I'm sure in real life that they are all perfectly normal individuals, but something about LinkedIn insists that every poorly worded fable is a gateway to wisdom. Yeah, I like my favorite ones are always the ones that are like, if someone offered me $100 million or $100 a month for the rest of my life, I'd take the second option because passive income or some crap like that. Those are fun. In the end, I got fired, so I'm actually forced back in. Yeah, I mean, if I got like fired, you lost your job, you may as well sort of expand your circle of where you can look. So I would definitely be back on LinkedIn, and update it. But literally, that's the only reason I would be on LinkedIn, is if I was jobless. I actually meant to collapse it. So allowing you to sign up and then immediately locking or shadow banning your account is a dark pattern to force you to provide a mobile number or other identification for extra. Okay, fair enough. I hadn't really heard of that. I think it could be. I don't disagree with this. I'm perfectly able to accept companies do this. But I do wonder if this is also to do with like bots. You know, shadow banned users normally don't even realize they're shadow banned. It's not a growth hacking strategy, and the point of ID is to validate details already provided for advertisers filtering. It doesn't even push the verification feature particularly hard. OPE is unlucky enough to have IDs that span a couple of countries, so it probably triggers some half-baked algorithm aiming at weeding out fake profiles. LinkedIn loves AI slop, but it's in the business of selling expensive ways of messaging people, so it doesn't want too many fake profiles. This was my sort of... The fake profiles is essentially what I was getting at. Not that LinkedIn has great ethics. Again, that's what I was saying around dark patterns. So, like, both can be true. It's just, is that a dark pattern? LinkedIn's original dark pattern growth hack, like the find contact feature linked to your email, that made it very easy to accidentally send connection requests to anyone you'd ever been included in an email chat with, chain with. It's a bit creepy, but no shadow bans. Okay, let's collapse that. But yeah, let me know your experience, by the way, of LinkedIn. I always like hearing from people. LinkedIn is full of worthless posts, full of users. I bet you if I went on it, I would just cringe. It's sort of like, I don't like this, like, I think it's good to have a positive work culture, but the whole LinkedIn lunatics, it's like, what's the word? Toxic positivity, I think, where, yeah, it's all just a bit cringy, it's too serious, whilst also being just crazy. It's the only place full of get out of bed early. Yeah, you gotta get up at 5 a.m. and that sort of stuff, where it doesn't get challenged. Maybe X is another one. I genuinely might prefer reading AI generated crap because I can then feel better about humanity. True. It's funny since I wonder if you asked ChatGPT to write a post like a LinkedIn lunatic, how well it would do that. It's funny since if it were any other platform, it would have collapsed by now. But because we're all used to use it to find work, yeah, this is sort of what I was talking about, inherent value. It does have inherent value like that. It's still a network effect, but the fact that I don't care about the network part of it, but I would still go back to it, shows that it has some kind of inherent value, which is finding a job. It's a more convenient way, I guess. It's slightly more convenient than a job board, I guess. Uh, what other choice do we have? Sure, most of us don't post, but we're still clicking on the website. I honestly never go on it. Ugh. Honestly, this is like, okay, it's an upvote button, fair enough. I keep thinking, because it looks like an up arrow, so I'm just like wanting to collapse it there. This week I posted about a woman. Technically that should be an A, because it's a woman, or woman. In engineering conference, posted about a woman. Oh, okay. That is correct, now that I've read a bit further. Posted about a woman in engineering conference happening in my hometown and got 0 engagement. 1,000 plus connections on my profile, used hashtags and tagged the organization and received 0 engagement. Yeah, that's pretty crazy if you've got like 1,000 plus connections, but it depends. Yeah. I don't know if people care about other people's stuff on there or just about their own stuff. Is it like the ultimate narcissistic place? I hate to assume that the worst, but something stings. When I open my feed, 9 out of 10 posts are from others that I don't follow or have never engaged with. Reading review experience confirmed my suspicions that some something nefarious is going on under the hood. And here I am thinking about deactivating my LinkedIn profile for good. The platform has never been useful. Most people use it to spy on others. Probably true. I think I'll not deactivate it just out of pure laziness. LinkedIn has sunk lower than Facebook. Like Facebook, every once in a while. Facebook, you know, was smart. I know this is like really old news, but they knew most people didn't like Facebook, so they made Messenger. And I think like creating their separate Messenger app actually did probably save them a bit. And obviously acquiring WhatsApp and Instagram, of course, but I don't know anyone that uses Facebook. Every once in a while, not really. Every once in a while, I use it to look up somebody I used to know or remind myself of a name I'd forgotten. Yeah, actually, the only value I got from Facebook back in the day was knowing people's birthdays because I always forget them. That was the best thing they ever did. I say it's lower than Facebook because I know people who rely on Facebook for legitimately useful things, niche communities, local group. Yeah, I guess it's quite good if you have like a little business and like the people in your community interact with your business. It's quite good then. There's no legitimate use of LinkedIn, but then even there I've heard stories for business owners where like it's like the more you use it, the more you pay for like adverts and stuff, and the less good it becomes. So you're actually best off. The person I knew was using it like sort of every few months to get when, and then it would be really good because that was their experience at least. So reading a few comments, it occurs to me that the platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, are so big they have multiple users. LinkedIn is mainly buying and selling. What, people? Buying and selling? Oh, well, like buying and selling, like what? Courses? Probably. I bet you there's a lot of people trying to sell their courses on LinkedIn. There's a lot of sales going on there, and programmers generally would not take kindly to that. As a means of recording connections and connecting with companies, recruiters annoy me. Should I have that opinion? I don't know. In the same way, Facebook works fine as a friends list. I think going back to this, recruiters annoys me. It's not all recruiters. I think it's like anything. Like a really great recruiter is amazing and makes your life good, but the ones who don't care are just like the most useless people, and they just see you as a number and they don't actually care what job you get whatsoever. Like if I had a friend who was a recruiter, I'm sure they would be great. So post Twitter is in my corner of the world, scholarly publishing technology. People have moved to Blue Sky, Mastodon, and LinkedIn. Have people moved into LinkedIn? Is LinkedIn that much better than Twitter? I don't know. I don't use Twitter either. I agree, LinkedIn is full of people performing their career, social media, and posting selfies. But there's also useful information from orgs. I'm getting a bit bored here, to be honest, which means you're probably also bored. I can relate to your frustration with LinkedIn. And what I'm going to do is I feel like this could be fun in a separate video. So let's do that. LinkedIn, I can relate to your frustration with LinkedIn. I've been actively writing on the platform for the past 2 years, building my visibility and engagement, even earning a recognition badge from LinkedIn. However, despite putting in the effort, I haven't gained much beyond that. The community feels like it's structured in a way where top influencers form closed groups and don't promote outside their circle. Almost like a hierarchical system that reminds me of the dynamics we see in Asian companies. Interesting. By the way, if you're wondering what they're referring to like a general respect in Asian culture for seniority rather than necessarily ability. So, that's what that's about. For me, LinkedIn is useful primarily for the job opportunities. But outside of that, it feels like a platform of noise. I want to know what you guys think, because I just don't go on it. It is by far the worst platform I've ever seen. I use it only as a resume fallback and to find job positions. That's literally it. Like if I lost my job tomorrow, I'd probably like look at my LinkedIn again and update where I've worked the last couple of years, update my CV. And then obviously it goes to recruiters and they're like, oh, this person's looking for a job. All the databases get updated, and then so it's good for that. I kept LinkedIn profile since 2018. and it made sense back then, the content. 2 years ago, I got more active and noticed a turn for worse. Much AI slop. Premium users. Yeah, I think this like AI slop stuff where people are just... I don't like when people are trying to make a quick buck and they're like, oh, I can just post this with an LLM and then, I don't know, have some sort of link to a course or something like that. I don't like that. It just feels so disingenuous. You haven't quite finished the saga through, though. When you finally decide to quit, I did, having suffered a lot less pain than you. You can't. They follow you. They email you. They are relentless. Well, you could just like deactivate your account. Anyway, LinkedIn is a place where you can say anything you like in a political sense, even if your employer has policy, if your voice sounds off the same rattle as everyone else. I didn't understand that sentence. I fight back against cringe content by leaving cringe comments. Cool. Yeah, let's leave it there. The worst. Let's leave it there. Cool. What did you do to get shadow banned? Person didn't even read the post. That's classic. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching and subscribe, like, all that stuff.